Welcome, crypto enthusiasts. I am MoteItBe.pls-SJY, and this is BetterBank Academy. This is BetterBank Academy. I am MoteItBe.pls-SJY here on behalf of BetterBank.io. Today we're starting at the beginning, the foundation of everything we do in DeFi, and what especially makes PulseChain so very different and powerful. We're going to look at the history of decentralized finance, what's actually happening under the hood when you sign a transaction, and why self-custody isn't just a feature, it's the entire point. So let's start with a bit of context. Before Bitcoin, the idea of digital money had actually been around for decades, but every attempt relied on some type of centralized authority, a company, a database, some trusted intermediary. The problem of this was, of course, trusting that intermediary. If one entity controlled the ledger, they could alter it, they could censor it, they could be pressured to shut it down. Then in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto released the Bitcoin white paper, a peer-to-peer system that solved the famous double spend problem without a centralized bank or authority. It used a distributed ledger, what we now call blockchain, where every transaction is verified by cryptography and recorded permanently across thousands of independent computers. That breakthrough challenged everything. It proved that trust could be replaced by math. Bitcoin was the first decentralized currency, but it was still pretty limited as to what it could do. Then came Ethereum, which introduced something truly revolutionary: smart contracts. So smart contracts are self-executing programs that live on the blockchain. They don't rely on human intervention or middlemen. Once deployed, they run exactly as written. They're open for anyone to inspect, interact with, or build upon. That's where DeFi, or decentralized finance, was born. DeFi is the idea that instead of using banks, brokers, payment processors, you use code and contracts on the blockchain to borrow, lend, trade, and earn yield. Everything happens transparently and autonomously. There's no applications to fill out, no waiting for approvals. You simply connect your wallet and interact directly with the protocols. At the center of all this is the idea of self-custody, and that's primarily what I want to talk about today. That is the ability to hold your own assets in your own wallet. When you use a decentralized wallet, you're not actually storing your crypto in the wallet like bills in your bifold. You're storing keys that let you access and control the blockchain. Richard Hart himself has said that wallets should really be called keychains because that's what they do. Those keys are derived from a seed phrase. That's a string of 12 to 24 words generated by a cryptographic algorithm. That seed is your ultimate access point. Whoever holds those 12 to 24 words controls all of the assets associated with that wallet. There are no password resets. There are no customer support to call. There's no one to bail you out. That's both risk and the power of self-custody. It's especially important in the PulseChain ecosystem. Richard Hart has always been clear about his ethos: self-sovereignty, transparency, and empowerment through code. PulseChain is a faster and more efficient fork of Ethereum. It's built to handle high transaction speeds with low fees while staying fully compatible with Ethereum's smart contracts. So let's look under the hood for a minute. What is really happening when you send a transaction or interact with a smart contract? Well, every time you click confirm in your wallet, you're using your private key to sign a piece of data. That signature is unique and mathematically provable, and it says, I am the owner of this address and I authorize this transaction. It's done using asymmetric cryptography, so that's the pairing of a public key with a private key. A public key is like your address. It's visible to everyone. Your private key is your secret, and it's what lets you prove ownership. When you sign a transaction, your wallet doesn't send your private key anywhere. It signs the data locally and broadcasts the signed signature to the blockchain network. The node then verifies the signature mathematically. If it checks out, the transaction is added to a block, and the block's consensus mechanism, in PulseChain's case, that's proof of stake, confirms it. Now, if that transaction involves a smart contract, you're essentially calling a function on a piece of code that already lives on the blockchain. That might mean swapping a token or providing liquidity, minting an NFT, or depositing to a protocol like at BetterBank. Every one of those actions is recorded immutably. That's to say, unchangeably. And every rule that governs it is open for anyone to read in the contract source code. And that's the beauty of DeFi. It's transparent and permissionless. No one can secretly change the terms. There's no hidden buttons, no arbitrary reversals, no committees to go through, no hoops to jump through. And here's where it gets even more powerful. The code that runs these systems isn't just financial, it's expressive. It's speech. Code is speech. And the courts have recognized this, that publishing code is a form of free expression, protected under the freedom of speech laws. That's why decentralized systems are so resilient. When websites or front ends go down, the contracts themselves still exist permanently on the blockchain. Anyone can access them directly, and that is the foundation of censorship resistance. The idea that no one can turn off these protocols once live. That's not just theory, we've seen it tested. Richard Hart's recent victory against the SEC reaffirmed that these systems, when built correctly, stand on the side of law and freedom. PulseChain exists to preserve that freedom, to keep DeFi alive, open, immutable, and unstoppable. So PulseChain isn't just another chain. We have plenty of those. It's a full state fork of Ethereum that copied every ERC20, every NFT, every contract, giving holders on Ethereum a free duplicate of their asset on PulseChain. Now, that's an unprecedented distribution model, creating an instant depth, liquidity, and opportunity from day one. It's also built for sustainability. It has faster block times, lower gas fees, and a proof of stake consensus that rewards validators and reduces environmental impact. It's the next evolution in Ethereum's vision. It's fine-tuned for efficiency and community ownership, and it's worked flawlessly since it started. Within that ecosystem, BetterBank.io is building a bridge for education and safe participation in its yield-generating protocol. So if you're new to crypto or new to PulseChain, this series is for you. We're going to walk through every essential concept you need to become self-reliant in DeFi. How to set up a wallet and manage your seed phrases, the difference between custody and non-custody wallets, best practices for keeping your assets safe, how to identify and interact with smart contracts, how to use bridges, decentralized exchanges, and how to participate safely in the BetterBank ecosystem as it grows. We'll also explore decentralized web hosting and front ends, how resilient peer-to-peer systems keep the DeFi world running even when centralized services fail, and what it really means to live in the financial system that can't be censored. At the end of the day, DeFi is about freedom. Freedom to own, freedom to transact, freedom to build, and freedom to connect. When you own your own keys, you hold your future. But with that comes great responsibility. You are the first and last line of defense between you and your assets. That's what PulseChain is about, and that's what BetterBank stands for. This is a new frontier of finance, open, permissionless, immutable, and unstoppable. This is BetterBank Academy. I am MoteItBe.pls-SJY, and on behalf of BetterBank.io, welcome to the future of decentralized finance.